Hi, everyone. We welcome you today to the Love Me, Love Me Not on the Valentine's Day. Wishing you all a very, very happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Your host, that's going to be me, Shreya from Sync, and the lovely Sharmee. We have something special to share with you today, which is the Love Me and Love Me Not event. Are you excited? Are you ready?
Before you begin, one more word. I will ask the listeners, what do you think of love me not when you first heard about it? Is it something to do with the other person? Give me a honest answer for this.
Yes, let
Yeah.
us know and comment below what you think when you heard about this. And also, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Yes, we'll get started with the presentation. Today we start with the Love Me Not, and taking one day at a time. How many of us do that? So moving forward, as we step into love, it is a perfect time to reflect on the impact we have created and to take time to acknowledge the feelings we hold.
The feelings for others? Or is it the feelings for whom? That's the biggest question here. That is a
Yeah,
surprise
it is.
here. Is it the love with respect to others? Always. That's how it has been pursued, right? With your partners, with your kids, and with your friends. But wait for the surprise.
Yes. And it's always there's love in the air. Everyone's excited about the love in the air. So we have a question to ask you. What is love to you? Do comment below on this. What do you think love is to you? Is it the
But
cuddly hug?
but for me, because the listeners, but I would want to just say what was love to me for a very long time. It was always with respect to others. It was always with respect to my partner or my kids or parents or friends. That was where I was living in. But now the definition is changing.
That's true. That's true. And how many times have you thought about how many times you're giving off love to so many people? Yeah. And now we move to the next one, which is everyone talks about mind, body, and soul, but what is mind, body, and soul? You know?
But why are we even
So
talking about this, Riya, here?
why are we talking about mind, body, and soul? We are talking about mind, body, and soul because this is the assumption of what love is. And what is the assumption of loving yourself? It starts with the mind, it starts with the body, and then the soul. So this is where it's important to really understand why we are talking about mind, body, and soul. So we start by the mind, where we perceive the external world. We see people, we see environment, we perceive it, and that's how we react. Then we have the body, and many people have the nudge. I'm sure even Sharmi, you could agree on this, where you would see a lot of people having the nudge to do something, or I need to go gymming, I need to do this. But how many of it, or how many of our listeners actually feel it? You know, they really feel that they need to do this and not be driven by their mind.
Oh, it's most of the times by the
So
mind. It's just the external pressure. So we just get carried away by this without realizing the alignment between the mind, body, and soul is there or not.
exactly. And that's where we want to talk about what soul is today and focus just on the soul, where everything lies there when you understand it, and you actually tune into emotions. It's the same emotions, Sharmi, you were mentioning, right? The love.
Love is an emotion, definitely, right? Yes. But then
Yeah.
here, it is all about the self-love. I didn't want to disclose it, but yes.
With soul, we come to energy in motion. So when emotions are constantly in a flow, it comes, it goes, it comes, it stays, we think about it, and then from thinking, it goes to like actions that we do. So today we wanted to really in tune to that emotions as well.
Simply
Sharmi,
emotions. E stands for energy in motions. That's it. Easy to.
that's a nice one. Next one we move is how this energy field works. So emotions are energy in motion, as we mentioned, and in motion, it's like a field. So this is kind of a visual picture on how it looks. It expands and it comes down. But how does that work? That's where happiness comes into play. The more happier you are, the higher you are, and it expands. And the more a lot of things go on and you're not in tune, it comes lower. So today we are here to help you with that. So we start with our first activity. And our first activity is very simple. We would like you all to take a piece of paper and write your people's names that you really love. And you don't have to think too much about it. Think of the first name that came to your mind when you saw this. And then we had the second activity, once you're done with that, is to write the emotions that are tied to the names you wrote. So if you wrote your husband, your parents, your children, your best friend, your friends, what kind of emotion tied to that? So you can start writing down the list of emotions that came up when you wrote that. And I assume at this point that when you did the first and the second activity, you really had a lot of people in the first moments coming to your mind. But I think even Sharmee would agree with this, that majority of the time we don't really add our own names to it.
Yes, that's what. If you asked me 2 years back, I was in the same space. Like I only the first time, the moment love comes, I immediately think of my husband, my partner, and next is my kids, and obviously mom, and there's a few more. The list goes on sometimes. Yes, there was never a space for self. There was never a space. I totally forgot that there could be self love as well. Yes.
True. So now we want to get into the love me not, where you add your name into the list.
Yes.
And once you start writing your name, you completely write the emotion that's tied, that what really goes on when you wrote these people's names. You had some certain emotions, but when you wrote your name, what emotions came up? Was it like the same emotions you wrote when you wrote theirs, or is there any difference? We would really like to hear from you in the comments as well. And to the last activity, which is, now we would like you to write the feelings you need. So I'm sure you wrote the people's names, you wrote the emotions, you wrote yours, and you wrote your emotions. So now we would like to have you have a look at these and see, like, what actually are you needing for or looking for? Is it a inner healing? Is it a lack of the care and love that you are missing? Is it, inbuilt anger maybe that you didn't get to release? Feel free to write what you feel like. Do you want to add anything, Sharmee?
No, not at the moment. Yeah, you're good to go. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll move to the next one.
Now.
Yep. Okay. So once we are done with this, we would like you guys to know, as you see the slide, I'm sure you see a bunch of like hearts flying around because it's Valentine's Day and love is in the air. So we would like you to take a few moments to pause, take a deep breath, and whichever quickly picks your heart and mind, just go for it. Which one would you go for, Sharmee?
The double heart. One is overflowing, so I want one more. Just kidding.
That's a lovely one. Don't we all? Yeah.
So
Don't we
surprise
all?
me.
But
What's
oh
that
yeah,
about?
yeah, for sure. So whichever hearts you pick, it is very, very lovely. And I'm sure you emotionally and intuitively have picked a beautiful heart.
Thank you.
And regardless of which one you picked, it's all you somehow emotionally felt something. Shami, do you have any
Of course,
comments?
there was some kind of a nudge to go for this. I would say that is an intuition, and I went with my intuition. Yeah.
Yeah. And from here, we have something very interesting. I think we've been talking too much of emotions, and overflowing of, all this love and the month of love. So sometimes we forget and we sideline, we have something called intuitions as well, and it exists already within, and it's always been there guiding ourselves. And who am I to speak more about this? So I will let our lovely Sharmee take it forth from here.
Yeah. Just navigate the slides. Yeah, because you're already
Yes.
sharing it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Next, please. Yeah, like Shreya said, the one form of self-love, I would say, is connecting with yourself and whatnot. Then listening to your own inner voice, which is also called as the intuition. There are two voices, right? How often we hear the two voices in our head? I'm sure most of us have come across that, right? Many times. So the one that is subtle and, which is very calm and soothing, which is not compelling, which is not loud, is what I recognize as intuition. Okay. So that is another way of connecting with yourself and connecting with your emotions. So intuition is nothing but we know that, right? So it's like I have this feeling Something told me this. I am drawn to it. So these are that. These are literally nothing but those intuitive signs, or what do you call callings, or yeah, whatever it is, right? So the intuitions in general. Yeah. Next slide, please.
Yes.
So but what happens? Intuition, unless a person recognizes it, the other voice, which is the mind chatter or the external voice, it gets so louder that it can become completely depleted or go without any nudge, any sign of it. So the recognizing the intuition is very, very important. If you want to tap into self love, if you want to tap into your emotions, connecting with intuition, it is so important that you know how to recognize your intuition, that subtle voice that comes to you, right? So recognizing and acknowledging the feeling, that's also very important. The next step would be connection. This is all about how do you tap into your intuitive power, intuition. So these are the three steps. General, recognize it first. Next is that connect with it. Now, not just recognize it. There are two voices, but how often we hear it because we don't connect with it. Even though we recognize it, there is something talking to us. We still ignore it because we don't connect with it, right? So connect with it, and it is coming from your soul. Without a doubt, try to trust to it. I'm not going to give you like a the blank thing that go for it blindly, but it is coming from your soul. There is a deeper meaning to it. Most of the times, trust me, it has given me the clarity, and it is the path I chose out of intuition has always been the right one. Yeah. Otherwise, sometimes I say, "Arey yaar, mere ko laga tha." I know that, but I didn't follow it. How often we have told that? That is because despite recognizing, despite the voice, the subtle voice, we miss to connect and take the direction from it. Yeah. So the third one is it is actually nothing but a guiding light. It gives you the direction. And how often you heard intuition? I feel that it comes to me only when I'm in a dilemma, when I'm in a grave, what do you call, situation or difficulties where I am in support. That is when I hear the intuitions more often coming to me. Yeah. So it gives you a direction when you are in need of it, right? Whenever you are in a situation in your life, when you are, some kind of okay, I'm not sure, what do I do? I don't know if this is right. Whenever there is a dilemma, if you noticed it. The next slide, please.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't want to speak more again about intuition. We all know about it. Let's do a small activity. Yeah. This is called intuitive mood board. Intuition can happen with respect to person, right? Where if you go to, first let's talk about some places. Okay. When we go to some places, we will feel nostalgic. Oh, this somehow feels so familiar. It gives me a good vibe. I feel so, calm and serene with it. So that is one kind of intuition. You can draw a square and make four compartments and try to fit in what was your intuition. The first one, when you went to any places, how did you feel? Was there any intuition that nudged you? And the second one would be what was your emotion following your intuition when you met some people, like, oh, he feels very familiar. He gives me the comfort feeling, the good vibes, and all those things. Now we finished the places, people. Next is things. Sometimes even with things we get to feel that, right? So it's all that intuitive feeling. So fill it up by yourself. And the last and the least, which cannot be ignored at any cost, is how do you feel for yourself, right? Sometimes for yourself, it is not with respect to the outside external interactions. It is with respect to your own internal interactions, internal serene state of mind, body, and soul. In fact, following an intuition is going to be such a guiding light that your actions and your mind will all fall in same what you call alignment, which will eventually increase your results to the maximum. Yeah. So there are a lot more to the intuition. The more you follow your intuition, the more you're going to fall in self-love, because you will start to love yourself. That there is a great confidence that develops from within. Yeah. So this is, I would say, there's one angle of expanding your self-love is could be to listen to your intuition and increase your intuitive power. So I want to leave you with these thought-provoking questions. Ask yourself, how intuitive am I? Like, and then ask these questions. I don't want to repeat them. Yeah. How often your intuition has served you? How important is self-love? Now that we have come to the end of the session, so do you practice self-love? Yeah. So be in self-love always. Be kind to yourself. And the most important thing is don't forget to listen to yourself. I was literally once told 2 years back by a little older man. He said, "You don't even listen to yourself." I had no clue what he meant by. I was thinking that I was living the life of my choice, but literally I was being pulled, influenced, and dragged by the external demands and influences without my knowledge. It was never into the self or the self love. Yeah, when you are in self love, you are in self awareness, and your life is in your charge.
Yeah. And now, coming to the end of the session, we want to know from the listeners, like, what kind of questions do you have for us? Or what exactly was your experience? How did you enjoy this Lummy Not? And how has it been for you? And we cannot stop thanking and showing a lot of love to Sharmee for her beautiful explanation and insight into the beautiful.
Credit goes to both of us, Shreya. Yeah.
True, true. And yeah, and we would love to hear from you guys. We hope that you join us for our more sessions and events like this as we keep hosting more and more, not only online, but even in real time. So we would love to see your faces there to experience this live. Yes. Sharmi,
Yeah,
would you
love you
like to?
all. I just wanted to add one thing, like practice self-love if you want to have self-power over your life, not others'
Yeah.
power over your life. I have experienced it out of my experience. I say there's nothing beyond self. So practice self-love. That's it.
Yes. And I
Take
think
care.
for me, it is like make sure the love that you give others, you also have enough to give yourself. So thank you
Don't
so
empty your
much for
cup.
exactly
Yeah.
and leaving the heart. So
Yeah,
thank you so
same here. Okay. Hope you can see my heart. Okay, this way is
much.
better, no?
It is.
Okay,
That's good.
happy Valentine's Day. Happy self-love. Go and do
Happy
something lovely for yourself. Okay, love yourself. Do something for yourself. Take care, dear.
stuff,
Bye.
guys.
Yeah.
You. Bye bye.
Bye.